Clairaudience. Clairaudience is basically clear hearing, so it's when you hear a voice, and like I've shown to you here, is that you have a place in your head where your inner dialogue takes place from, and it's important to have some inner dialogue with yourself. Find out where that place is where you get the inner dialogue from, and then if you get dialogue from a different place to that, so if you consistently get your dialogue coming from a specific point in your head, if the message comes from a different location and it feels different, so the location and the type of message and the feeling of the message can differ. So you can actually then start to distinguish. So it's really about paying attention to how your normal process works, and then if there's a deviation from that process, that you can then understand how it deviates, where it comes from, and that you can start to pay attention to it when it comes. So for me, just as an example, I kind of feel like I come from the middle of my head, and then I can either get messages from the left or the right. Generally from spirit, it'll be in the bottom right below, and then there are other places where I can get guidance from, like bottom left, bottom right, or bottom left, top right, and so on. So if I get kind of a message from those places, I know. And it also, it's almost like the language is different from what you use. There's like a different feel to it. It's not really the same as your inner dialogue. So when you talk to yourself, you'll talk to yourself in a specific way. When you get a message from outside of yourself, it'll be different. So just understand that, and know that there's that possibility of picking this up. So when you are in a reading, a lot of the times it'll come up. I have heard the actual voice of someone else, which is really impressive and really cool. So you can actually get that person comes through in their own voice, but in general, it's basically this very much similar to what I get about my inner voice and inner talk, but just coming from a different location and just different feel and different type of way of speaking. Sometimes it's almost like the information comes through like dead slow, like the trickle type of thing, and then so there's very much different dynamics to it. So play with this a bit and get used to it. Again, I did in the previous part say about conditioning and exercises, and how you should pay more attention to what's actually happening in the world outside of yourself, as far as audio is concerned. And then the more you do that, the more you can then gain proficiency in the skill.